Okay. All right. So I'm going to give it a moment and let people come in. I can't believe I decided to do this way. Don't know what I'm thinking. Don't know what I'm thinking. So I'm just going to give it a moment and then I'm just going to start. Since I'm recording it, you can watch the playback if they want it from the beginning. So yeah, this morning. All right. All right. Get started. Um, I'm recording. Everything is in place. And as always, TikTok is in the building first. Great rising. Good morning. Good day. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. It is good to see y'all. Make sure you say good morning now because I won't be looking at the comments a whole heck of a lot once I get started. Um, if you are going to have questions, I would ask that you hold any questions that you end up having towards the end. I'll kind of give you a heads up that I'm going to be opening up the floor for questions. But by all means, come in, say hello, say good morning. This is a special edition of, well, hi from GA as well. Hello from hot. It's warm. I hope you're hydrating because it's warm in GA today. So, um, get yourselves comfortable. This is sacred space. I've already set the intention that this is a safe and sacred space for folks. We are going to be doing some pouring of water or libations for the ancestors as part of this service this morning. So if you want to run, grab a cup of water or something, pour the water in, by all means, feel free to do so, because at some point I will give y'all a few moments to do that. So even though I won't see you, my intention is that at that moment that will be happening for y'all. So without further ado, great day. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. It's the first of the month. So catch your chicks and get on. First of the month, waxing gibbous. I don't know if y'all seen the moon lately, but she is giving all that she is meant to give as she prepares to be full. So hi, I am Ian Nifa Dania Faomi Shango. I am an Ifa priestess and spiritual awakening doula for the African American diaspora. And my intention is to thank you so much for the roses. Thank you. My intention today is to share a little bit of my practice. So traditionally, I have Sacred Soulful Saturday with Orisha, and this is something a part of my services, what I give to the community. And I normally do this via a Zoom, and people join the Zoom, and that way I can see and interact with everyone. But being truthful and transparent, I've been doing some shadow work the last couple of weeks, and I didn't socialize it. But this morning, I really woke up with it on my heart to actually say, I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway. So I've got TikTok going, I've got Facebook and YouTube going. So for those that don't catch it from the beginning, y'all can watch the playback. And then when I start socializing it again, then by all means feel free to then join from the traditional way. It is a donation-based event, so the minimum donation is only $11. So if you stay for this whole service and you feel called to do the donation, you can actually still do it on my website, or for those who want to do something like PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, inbox me and I can send you the information. It is not required since I'm doing it live today, but single mommy, I'm going to say thank you with gratitude, and I speak abundance 100-fold over your life. So I do like in true teacher mode. If y'all don't know, y'all ain't been following me, y'all can like mommy is a teacher. She keeps the books and the notebooks. Alafia. I got today what we're going to talk about in terms of what I felt like I wanted to share and teach from is I want to talk about the primordial energy of Odu. I want to talk about her specifically, and I'll get into why she's the one that came up. I want to talk about Great Rising. I want to talk about the primordial mothers and my relationship with them and honoring our sacred feminine energy. And then I did go ahead and do divination for this morning for whoever was meant to receive it today. So I did get an Odu that I will talk about specifically for today and tomorrow. But first, like I said, I'm going to do this just like I would do my sacred soulful service if I was doing this via Zoom. So if I was doing this via Zoom, you would actually experience me going through my prayer cycle and talking about how I start my day in a general sense. It's not identical every morning, but in a general sense, how my prayers are for the day. So for my mediums, I'm going to go ahead and do this now. For my mediums and my sensitives, go ahead and ground yourself. Go ahead and ground because I'm going to do it almost like I do it for myself. So you may just go ahead and ground, center yourselves. But we're going to go through a sample little prayer cycle, and I don't like it. So even when you get divination from me, I do this the same way, where I will tell you what the prayer means in English, because especially us in the diaspora, we don't speak Yoruba. That's not our native language. And so I don't want to be saying something and you're like, well, I don't know what you're saying. You can't be engaged. You can't be involved. You can't fully immerse in the experience if you have no idea what the person is talking about. So I will give you some of these in English and give you some of the translations, and then I will do them in Yoruba or vice versa. It kind of depends on how spirit moves through me because I've already been doing prayers this morning. So I'm going to do Ayla, and I'm going to talk about who Ayla is and what she represents, and kind of talk about, I'm not going to do the full long version of her invocation because then I'll really be gone, but I will do a shortened version of it and kind of just give you high level what she represents. We always greet Eshu, so I will be greeting Eshu this morning. Again, I'll try to keep it short. And then I will do the morning prayer. And I wrote it down in English because I realized I don't remember in English as well as I do in Yoruba. So I wrote the English down so that I can tell you what it is in English. We're going to honor our Ori. We're going to honor our ancestors. And then I will talk about my relationship with Orisha and the fact that I have written some actual praise poetry for them. So I will do a couple of those as well. And then we'll just get into the topic of the day, which is Odu, the sacred feminine, the mothers, etc., etc., etc. Good morning, Grand Rising. If you have questions for me, my ask is that you hold them, because once I get going, I'm going to see them. And I would rather not miss your question if you're going to have one. I don't want to miss it. And then you've asked something really important and I'm like, I missed your question. So please hold them if you can. You can even inbox them to me because I have my cell phone beside me. So if you inbox them to me, I can see it as well. But yeah, please try to hold any questions you have until the end. And I think that is everything that I wanted to say this morning. So alafias and good mornings, grand risings, good days. Y'all share where y'all hailing from. I would love to see where everybody is at. And without further ado, so we're going to talk about Ayla, and that's who I'm going to invoke first because that is my way in the morning. Ayla is the spirit of manifestation, purity, destiny, Holy Spirit, white light energy. And so for me personally, even if I don't do any other, like if I'm having a day where I'm just like, I got to go, I will invoke Ayla. And I will invoke Ayla because for me, she feels just exceptionally protective and she keeps the energy clear. So I've already done an invocation for Ayla this morning, but I wanted to just share part of her invocation. Hi, New York, with y'all. And so I'm going to do the English so that you know what it is. And then I will do it in Yoruba. And because I know I got some Nigerian followers, and shouts out to y'all. Thank you. I got Nigerian DNA. I am not Nigerian. Don't come from my Yoruba. Don't do that. Orisha understands. They're good with it. Y'all don't come for me in that. Good morning. So it starts with the spirit of manifestation, child of the ruler, spirit of manifestation, child of the offspring of the stone and the water. And that's really like you think about a stone and water running down the stone, and that's what that's referring to. We ourselves become manifestation. The stone that birthed the spirit of manifestation will never die. The spirit of manifestation has descended to earth. We die no more. This is the name we give to destiny. He is the one who saved us. We have made sacrifice to the spirit of manifestation. He is of no substance. He is too small to be thought of. Yet he delivered the immortals from all trouble. The chief for whom to know is to be saved. The spirit of manifestation, son of the ruler, I praise you. The spirit of manifestation, I praise you. Spirit of manifestation, praise the sacrifice that opens the way. Spirit of manifestation, praise the sacrifice that brings life. Spirit of manifestation, praise the sacrifice that precedes work. The spirit of manifestation has appeared. The friend has returned for this year's festival. The celebration returns. I come, Iroko Oko. The celebration has returned. The spirit of manifestation has appeared, and the Holy Spirit descend. Holy Spirit descend. Holy Spirit descend. Prayers to accept. So I'm only going to do that part. Really, that I can. If that's what you desire. If that's what you desire. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay. So let me go ahead and so that was the prayer in English. So I'm gonna do it in Yoruba and try to stay grounded at the same time. Okay. Ela omosi, ela omo yigi otaumi, awati o yigi akokuma, ela ro akiokumo kriti, ela ro shokrero krifa. Inti nikbanila, no ashebo ela fumi, kotina kotoro, binio ela nikbanina liefeo ba mola, ela omosimo wario, ela mejimo wario, ela moimboye, ela moimbo shishe, ela poke, ini esi so asrodun, odun ko wasodun, iroko oko, oduno nisiko, ela poke, ela ro, guajubere, ashe. Whoo, ashe. So that's a piece, a fragment of an invocation for Ela. So now we're going to greet Eshu because Eshu is the spirit, the divine messenger. So Eshu is the one that stands at the crossroads. Eshu would be right here, right here in our physical crossroads. Eshu carries the messages. He stands in the middle. Alafia Darcel. So I'm doing Eshu Odada, which is the spirit of transformation. And the intention of this invocation is to make sure that as we channel as mediums, as we go through our life, as we go through our day, as we are moving about, that we do not have confusion in our life, that confusion doesn't find us, that confusion goes someplace else. Get somebody else to do it. We're not trying to be confused. Let someone else be confused. Let someone else have strife. Let that go to somebody else. So I'm going to do Eshu. Eshu Odara, Eshu Landu Ogrioko, Okunyorita Jolanga Langa Lalu, Arin Lanja Lalu, O Devi Jademole. Ijanio truba delife, tofi de omo, oro eshu toto tokoni, eofita me la lei, eshu ma shemio, Eshuma Shemio, Eshuma Shemio, O Molimila Nicoloshe, Pado Subida, no Ado Sudesiwa Ashe, Asheo, Asheo, Ibashe issue. I'm still here. Maybe. I might not be here. I might be gone already. Okay. So then I would normally go into my morning prayer. So this is a condensed version of the morning prayer. This is one if you were a non-initiate, but you were like wanting to come close to Ifa. This is a prayer that I was doing pre-initiation. So I'm going to do it in English and then I will do it in Yoruba. So it says, gratitude to the owner of the realm of the ancestors. I respect the creator, the king who we praise first. I behold the four corners of the world. I respect the power of the east. I respect the power of the west. I respect the powers of the north. I respect the powers of the south. I respect the ruler of the source of, I can't read my own half. I respect the rule of the source of the east. I respect the invisible realm of the mountains. I respect the ancestral fathers. I respect the ancestral mothers. I respect the mediums who praise the ancestors. I respect the spirit of the consciousness. I respect the spirit of the inner self. I respect the spirit of the higher self who lives in the ancestral realm of the ancestors. So that is a basic morning one that you can do. If anybody actually wants it, you can inbox me. I'll give it to you. I don't mind. Because it's a prayer specifically for non-initiates. So this is the one. So this is it in Yoruba. Opieni funolorun, iba olutumare, uba jiki mojiloni, moboku meninae, iba ila orun, iba iworun, iba riwa, iba gusu, iba oba igbaye, iba runoke, iba baba, iba yeye, iba igungun kiki igungun, ibori, ibori nu. Iba ipanitiolun ashe, asheo, ashe, ashe, ashe. So after that, then of course we have to make sure we are honoring our ori. Ashe, thank you. And so this particular one is inner spirit guide me, inner spirit guide me, inner spirit support me, inner spirit support me. Inner spirit supports my abundance, inner spirit supports my future children, inner spirit supports my relationship, inner spirit protects my house, inner spirit guides me, inner spirit guides me, inner spirit guides me, protector of children, my inner character is thankful, may it be so. And for those who have not heard me talk about Ori or want to learn more about your Ori, short version, Ori in a literal translation means your head. It is your consciousness. It is the aspect of you that remembers its oneness with the creator. And so in Orisha tradition, regardless of which one it is important that we honor our Ori. We honor our Ori with invocation. Notice I didn't say prayer because prayer, the root of that word means to beg. So we honor our Ori with invocation. We honor our Ori with, like regularly washing it spiritually. We honor our Ori with actual offerings. So our Ori is the one that allows us to receive. It is our destiny. Your Ori is you. So nothing comes to you without your say so. Someone asked about their career. In Yoruba, it would be ask of your head, inquire of your Ori. What is meant for you? What is an alignment for you? What did your Ori choose to have in that life? What did your Ori choose? Hi, Dorothy's house. Hello, beautiful. What did your Ori choose prior to coming into your vessel to have in this life? What blessings, what journey, what experiences? Inquire of your head. That's like literally, that's like, if you want money, inquire of your head. If you want a good spouse, inquire of your head. So if you want a good job, inquire of your head. And for me, that's one of the beautiful parts of the tradition, is that in Isheshe, it's about honoring the primordial energy. Your Ori is it is yourself. It is not about looking outside of you. When you look at, like, Orisha is part of your spiritual court and your spiritual pantheon. But before you go to Orisha, you go to your Ori. Before you go to Orisha, you go to your ancestors. So it is about looking for the energy that is innately you. Orisha is in you, a part of you. Your Ori is you. Your ancestors are you. So giving them honor and praise every morning before Orisha is important and in part of Isheshe. I hope that makes sense to everyone. So this is the Ori invocation in Yoruba. Ori sanmi, ori sanmi, ori sanikete, ori sanikete, orio tansanmiki niowolo, orio tansanmiki embemolemio, orio tansanmiki niaya, orio tansanmiki enkole mole, ori sanmio, ori sanmio, ori sanmio, oloma ajiki iwani mope, ashe, ashe. And for those who have received Ori prayers from me in English, that's one of the ones I gave y'all. It's just that I did it in Yoruba. So we're gonna honor our ancestors this morning because we honor our ancestors every day. Every day. Were it not for you, you would not, we're not for our ancestors, we wouldn't exist. Like we would not be here. Like in a very literal sense, we would not exist if they did not exist. So it is with gratitude that we honor our ancestors. It's with gratitude that we honor them each and every day. So as I'm doing the prayer, my suggestion for you, because I'm going to do the Yoruba one and I'm also going to do the one that I wrote. And my suggestion for you in this moment, call their names. The names that you know, whether it is last names, whatever you know, call them. Call them. And if you want to do it in traditional, you can say a mojuba. I honor you. So mojuba in the ancestor's name. Mojuba in the ancestor's name. If you don't know their name, mojuba to all of my benevolent, unconditionally loving ancestors of the highest elevation. Thank you. You don't have to know all their names for them to exist within you. It is with honor we call on our ancestors. A lot of people come to indigenous practices, whether it's an ATR, ADR, hoodoo, or anything else, and think that we're putting the ancestors before the creator. That's not the case. Your big mom, who was praying for you while she was here in the physical, she's now in the penthouse. She's now in the garden with the creator. So you think because she transitioned, now she's got a cool, like she just walked across the yard. And hey, how you doing, Lord? My baby is looking for a new job. And I kind of have an idea. I just want to like whisper in their ear, you cool with that? Awesome. Thank you. I'm gonna whisper, I'm gonna tell them to leave me some cakes too. Like that's it. Like they're still doing this for you. And just like you would tell them, thank you for the good advice. Thank you for the suggestion. Thank you for how you were supporting me. In the physical, you thank them for continuing to do that. And then the kicker is there are ancestors you could have never physically met. They're the ones that came with you first. The ancestors you never actually got a chance to meet because they were long gone by the time you were a glimmer in somebody's eye. They are the ones who are walking with you, sitting with you, standing beside you from the moment you were born. It's not that your ancestors you knew in life are not there, but the ones who came with you, who established that relationship from the gate, are the ones you never got a chance to meet. They loved you already. They loved you already. And I need to just sit with how beautiful that is, that they loved you already and they had not met you yet. They didn't get to see you in the physical, and they just want you to be you. That's the other piece of it. Sometimes they're like, well, no, they don't want you to be them. They want you to be you. By being you as an extension of them, you are an extension of all of their dreams, all of their hopes, all of their gifts, all of their talents. How they manifest in you is going to be different. Their ask is that you be you, especially for our ancestors who could not be them, who had to play small because being too smart, being too strong, being too anything was dangerous for them. Remember that in some respects, our ancestors had to dumb themselves down had to play stupid, had to pretend to be less than they truly were, because if they were more, it was dangerous. Oh, you can't be that smart. That was going to start trouble. You can't be to do this. That's going to, they're going to start trouble. So when we think about sometimes when our elders and things may have asked of us to be smaller, to don't always say what you. It's not that they didn't want us to be bright. Is that there's still that remembrance of the danger of us being loud and strong and shining bright like the ethereal suns that we are, that they are trying to still protect us from. And as in the ancestral realm, as we need to radiate like a solar flare. They want us to radiate like a solar flare in our life, not simply the sun. Let's go brighter, bright like Sirius, just brighter than we could have imagined ourselves to be. So this particular one is a short one. It says, praise to the mediums of the ancestors. Ancestors have preserved the mystery of featherless flight. You create the words of reverence and power. The drums of the ancestors announce the arrival of the ancestors. On the strong mat, you spread your power. The ancestors are here, and may it be so. So I'm going to do that one, and then I'm going to do the one that I wrote as well. And for those who want to know what the featherless flight is an allusion to astral travel. So that's what that means. Igungun kiki gungun, iguni kuranwan pawo ku pui pui, o da sola funlawo, iguni kubata bangungunde, biaba faratori nalaguna sade ashe. So this is the one that I wrote. Mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, cousins, and kin, you who dwell within me, blood of my blood, spirit of unconditional love, I greet you. I honor you. I speak unto you my love, my appreciation as I give you my salutation. I'm your daughter, your kin. I carry you within. I could not be without you coming before me. I sit before you with humbleness and gratitude. Today I honor you. Today I greet you. All ancestors, both lines, on all worlds, planes, and times, I call you now for your elevation, lifting up your spirits in adoration, sending you peace and unconditional love. I thank you, family. I thank you. Ashe. So we're going to ancestors in the Orisha. Well, we haven't done Orisha. The ancestors are Ori, Olodumare. So we've done the call to corners. So now Orisha. So the first one I did, the Sacred Soulful Saturday that I hosted, they got to hear me do Oriki for Yemoja in Yoruba. But I'm way too gone now for me to do that in Yoruba. I might still go off in this one. But I'm going to do a couple of Orisha. I don't have one written for every Orisha, but I am going to do Yemoja because for me today is her day. Shango, Oya, Oshun. I have one for the Iyami, and I have one for Orumila. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to go right into the teaching and talking about Odu. Oh, wow. Thank y'all for the likes. Great day. Thank you. Yemoja, good morning. Giver of good things, I greet you. Yemoja alug berere, mother of mothers, oceans and fish, grant my wish for peace. Suru, I move through the day gently, wele wele. Yemoja, the owner of my pathway, my portal of love, great mother Iyanla Yemoja, I greet you with honor. Ibashe Yemoja, Olowo Oriawa, I see my inner being beautiful and abundant and vast as the seas. I am not afraid. I am gentle and strong like you. Yemoja Ogbona Abi Isheke Sheke. I honor when my spirit needs to be cool and hot. Mojuba Yemoja. Mojuba, O mother of the moon, stars, and seas. Mojuba Yemoja, mother that dwells in me. Ashe. So God. Okay. All right. So this one is for Shango. And for those who did not know, based on my greeting of I am Ianifa Omi Shango, I am currently Omo, Iamoja, and Shango. There are several others, I just haven't crowned them yet. Shango, good morning. Kabiesi, Kabiesile, Obaku so loyal. Baba Shango, lead me to victory. The righteous path lies before me. Baba Shango, father of lightning, swiftly I call you. Dance with me, Baba. Allow me too to be reborn, Bambi. Olu Bambi, protector of me and my children. Olu Kuso Era, let me not be struck by your lightning. Guide me in strength. Baba Shango, who gives me confidence to be, I honor you, Baba. When they see me, they see you. Swagger, strength, stature, king lightning. When I hear the drumming beat, Iba She Shango, Mojuba Ariwa, Mojuba Ashongo, I give thanks for the lightning, the storm that I carry within me. I give thanks that you walk before me. Thank you for dancing through life with me, Shango. Ashe. Asheo. We're not crying this morning. We're not crying this morning. We're not doing that today. Not crying this morning. Okay. All right. This one is for Oya. Okay. Iba Oya. Ajalaye. Ajalarum. Winnie Winnie. Mbe Mbe my son. I greet you, Oya. The winds of earth and heaven are wondrous. I remember standing as a child, feeling like I commanded the rain and wind. Was that you with me then, Oya Opere La La Loyan? I too feel complete. Strides long, strong, confident. Your wind blows through my hair even when others perceive it not there. Change is inevitable, but with you, change is for me and not to me. The aspect of my divinity that says flow with the change like the wind. Let my winds carry you to your greatness. I take away that which is not for your highest good. A jalamoon blow within my lungs. They lift me up. E fufu lege lege, gentle breeze, whisper your truth to me. Mother of nine with the rainbow around your waist, owner of the marketplace, I honor you. Mojuba Oya, thank you for changes leading to my greatness. Mojuba O Iyansan, I give gratitude for the lessons every storm taught me. Ibashe Oya, thank you for love and protection. Ashe. Ashe. I have one for Oshun. Oshun, sweeter than honey, walk flowing like the river, cool, strong, wild, and free. It is Mama Oshun of whom I speak. Ori Yeye, Oshun Ori Yeye Mole, most gracious mother, spirit of the river, most gracious spirit. Why do you call to me, Ori Yeye? It is with love and true abundance I am called, not simply with things and rings, with joy, with laughter, with bliss. Oyeye Nimo, playful, passionate, and powerful. I am strong in my sensual power. I am divine in my creative prowess. Yeye Oniki Obalodo. When you are near, I giggle. The bees see me as lovely. I am sure. I am strong. Thank you for protecting me. Badamu Badamu Obindrinko She Gamamu. Mojuba O Oshun. Yeah, yeah. Ashe Oshun. Ashe. Okay. This one is for the Iyami. The Iyami are the mothers, the elder mothers. They're a conclave of primordial feminine energy. Our mothers are Iyami. Our grandmothers are Iyami. The motherly energies in our life are Iyami. I am Iyami. Greetings to the elder mothers. Ibashe Ialote Oshun. Ibashe Iyan La Yemoja. Ibashe Iyanta Oya. Mojuba O to the cosmic mother. Greetings to the womb of creation, Odu. I humbly greet you. Ibashe to my ancestral mothers, all of you on both sides and all planes of my existence. Mojuba O to the Iyami. Ibashe Iyami Oshanga. I am your daughter. Ianifa Daniafa Omi Shango. I greet you today and each day. Earth, water, fire, and air, all are present within me here. I am white bird of featherless flight, and in dreams I travel throughout the night. I give thanks to you for protecting me and my family. I give thanks for your guidance in bringing me Ide, good fortune. I give thanks for you bridging the seen and unseen. I give thanks for protection. I give thanks for me. Ide, 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 Mojuba O to the mothers, Ashe. And of course, I mean, there's plenty other Orisha. These are just the ones I wrote. So I'm going to close the Orisha portion of this out with Orumila. Orumila is the spirit of destiny. Orumila is the Orisha who was present at creation, not simply creation of earth, but existence in all of our destinies. When we chose our Ori and chose our career and chose what we wanted to do in this life, it was Orumila who was there. Orumila is the diviner of the diviners. So it is Orumila who is invoked by priests and priestesses in the tradition when doing divination so that we can get a guidance around where the destiny of the person, whether it's ourselves or somebody else, is. Greetings! Rumila, will you sit with me? Will you sit with me so that I see my destiny? You, the strong, robust, virile one, the diviner of diviners, the witness to creation, you who own the mystery of my destiny, will you show it to me? Will you show me the steps in my pathway, the peace on my journey, the protection of my legacy, the fulfillment of my lineage, the transformation to my greatness? Oronmila agboniregun ibike diolodamari akokoloku. Will you sit with me today? Allow me to peer into the veil of my essence, beyond my essence, to my truth that you witness. Will you share with me the path to goodness, to love, to peace, to fulfillment, to good health? I thank Orumila for sitting with me. I, I thank you, Ifa, for showing me the way. I thank you, Light and Crowning Jewel, for your guidance, wisdom, and protection this and every day. Ashe. So those are my invocations. Y'all still here? Drop a heart in the comments or something. So I know y'all still with Ashe. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So let me start with why I decided this particular thank y'all. So why this particular topic? So today, if y'all weren't here at the beginning, thank y'all for joining. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the love, the gifts. I so appreciate it, y'all. If any of y'all have already sent donations, thank y'all for that as well. So I wrote down like, how do I want to flow this morning? What's the theme? And there was a TikTok that was sticking out to me regarding someone. It was someone. There was a response to a comment where someone said something negative about the Divine Mother, God the Mother. And earlier, well, last week sometime, I did divination for someone, and Odu came up in the Odu and wanted an offering. And what I realized when I give offerings or do offerings on behalf of my clients, and I'm getting ready to do oriki, they're like, I don't have an oriki for Odu. I don't have a praise poem for Odu, as in Odu, the energy, as in who Odu is. I don't have one of those. And as I sat there and thought about that, it made me sad. I felt so sad about that because when we look at who Odu is this primordial energy. So I said, let me talk about Odu and who Odu is. And so I wrote some notes so that I could stay, like, especially since I knew I was going to do invocations first, but I did write one for Odu. I did write one for her. Um, and I'm like, I don't speak Yoruba, but as much as Google Translate could help, I wrote praise names for her because she deserves them. So, who is Odu? The Yoruba word Odu in Yoruba literally means womb. That is the literal translation of the word Odu, is a womb. It's a womb. On my womb holders, tap the screen. Odu means womb. Whether you still have your womb or not, tap the screen. So Odu is also what we refer to the holy text when we're doing divination. So when we cast divination, you will receive an Odu. This is the holy message, the scripture of what the energy is around right now. And Odu is also the sacred calabash. So when we think about the creation of Earth existence and things of that nature, what we have, when we talk about it scientifically, we talk about the Big Bang happening in a contained space, or the cosmic egg. So in the Orisha tradition, Odu is the sacred calabash from which creation was birthed. I just want you to think about that. The sacred space, the calabash, the energy that held the infinite potential that then birthed existence into existence, does not have any praise poetry. There's no praise poetry orikis that honor Odu in that particular way. Odu is the womb of creation. That is who Odu is. And as the womb of creation, it's a primordial energy, like the mothers, like the Iyami. It's a primordial energy. So as I was sitting and writing, I was like, well, what is a womb? And it's a container that holds infinite possibilities. I want you to think about the womb in a practical sense as those of us who have wombs, somebody with a womb or who had a womb, you know what a womb is. It's in the body. And within that womb can be birthed anyone, anything. When a woman is pregnant and carrying that baby, they don't know who that baby is in that moment, but they are filled with all these hopes and dreams and aspirations of who that child could be. Infinite possibilities. The child could be anyone or anything. That child could do anything, could look like anyone or anything. You don't know how the DNA is going to work and cipher together. It's impossible. It is infinite possibilities, which is the essence of what feminine energy truly is. People want to liken feminine energy to things like pinks and soft and demure, and that's not what feminine energy is. You think about being inside the womb, being inside the uterus. What do we know? It's dark in there. It's dark. It's dark. Black. Space. Dark. Vast. Black. Could be anything up there, in there, out. It could be anything. Could literally be anything. So it's a container that holds infinite possibilities. Anything or anyone can be created and birthed from the womb. It is also a portal. Most people know or have a sense, regardless of their spiritual belief or practice, that humans have souls or spirits. However, they haven't. There's an energy beyond the physical vessel. And so that energy beyond the physical vessel has to come from somewhere. It comes from the divine. Whether you feel like that's heaven, the creator, source, whatever that looks like, it comes from there and has to enter the body. And it enters the body while it is where? In the womb. So when you enter somewhere, you have to be able to go through a door. There's a doorway. There is an opening. There is a portal that allows you to go from one place to the other. So the energy that allows our soul, our essence to get to our physical body, the doorway is within the womb. The doorway, meaning that whether the person chooses to give life to a human or not, it doesn't negate the fact that the doorway between earth and heaven, between Orun and Aye, is within the womb. Our personal Odu, Mimo Mimo, our personal sacred calabash within our body. There's an affirmation song by Tony Jones, and this is for my womb holders, but I want the non-womb holders to consider this as well. I want you to consider this when you think about some of the conversation between men and women, especially my brothers and sisters, and how they try to pit us against each other when we're supposed to be working together. But I want you to think about your mothers and your sisters and your female friends. And this affirmation was said, I am part of the community that gives souls and spirits bodies. I want y'all to think about that again. I want you to put your hands, if you have a womb, put your hands there. If you don't, think about your mother. If you don't, think about your sister. Think about the women you love and who love you in your life. And let's hear that again. I am part of the community that gives souls and spirits bodies. Please put an ashe in there if you understand the ramification of that. Please put an ashe in the comments if you understand the power of that statement. And understanding that you have the ability, having your own soul. I need you to think about how powerful a soul is. Think about how powerful a soul is. That not only if you are birthing a human life, are you carrying your soul, you are carrying the soul of somebody else. If you got twins and triplets, more than one, you are holding multiple souls in your vessel and you are not being ripped apart. I need you to think about how powerful the human body is. Our soul energy is our source energy. It is the energy of the creator. It's the energy of the most high. So when we're sitting around talking about my human body, I need you to think about how powerful your human body is, whether you're a man or a woman, because you are literally the emanation of God's energy sitting in a human vessel. Please, 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 please understand how strong and powerful the human body is. And then think about how strong and powerful the human body of the mother is, who chooses to put her life on the line to bring life into this world. Because if you think about that in a practical sense, that amount of energy should tear us up. That amount of energy should tear us up. And here we are. All we want is some cookies. Can you get us some pickles? I didn't want pickles, but most people relate to that. I just want some snacks. Can you rub my feet? I want some snacks. I want you to rub my feet. Can you go to Waffle House and get me an all-star special egg scrambled well, hash browns scattered and like lightly brown? And can I get two syrups with my waffle? That's what I wanted when I was pregnant. Can I get that? Can I get that? Think about how powerful that is. So when we talk about the creator of all existence and existence, regardless of the tradition, altars have what's called the vessel that things were birthed from. There is not anything on earth that births anything. This is not to say the creator of all existence is simply feminine or a woman. That's not what that means. But to act like there is not something that reflects in women that also reflects in our creator is ludicrous. It don't make sense. So when I think about Odu and honoring her, I have an Oriki book that has one Oriki that has all the Orisha in it. And I now have to rememorize it because I wrote her in there. I wrote the Iyami in there first because they weren't included. The Iyami are our primordial mothers. They keep an eye on us. They watch and protect us. And a lot of times people demonize the Iyami and like, oh, they're, you got to make sure you appease them or they're going to be mad at you. That's not like, I want you to think about like a really strong mother, a very strong mother who only wants the best for you. So when you do something that is out of alignment with your Iwa Pele, your good character, and your mother knows you are better than this, this is why she is frustrated. And so what does she do? She flushes you. So you're a little kid, she put you on punishment. You got to go sit in your room. Think about your actions. And when you're doing well, that mother is like, that's the one in the crowd. They say, don't yell at the child. Don't overly clap and be loud when your child graduates. But who is loud? Mama. Mama. Showing out. Thank you for the badges and for the roses. Like showing out. That's who's there, mama. So the Iyami are that kind of energy. For me, it's always funny to me because my god siblings say that I embody Iyami very much. And I think that's because I'm Yemoja and I'm a Cancer rising. And the zodiac sign Cancer is the divine mother in astrology. There's feminine energy and then there's Cancer, which is the divine mother. That's why it's so in its feelings. Anything non-tangible, which means our emotions, our spiritual connection, that is the realm of the feminine. So we give honor and gratitude to the womb of creation, Odu, because without creation, we also would not exist. Ashe. So when we talk about God, which comes from the Germanic word meaning to invoke, the word God itself, if you look at its etymology, the word God actually means to invoke. It does not mean source. It does not mean creation. It means to invoke. So what does it mean when you invoke something? You call it forward. You speak it so that it exists. You call the energy. So when we talk about God and then we talk about the mother, and we say God the mother, what we are invoking is a specific aspect of creation. Save it for the end. I'm gonna have a spot at the end of the service for questions. So just hold on to it, otherwise I'm gonna miss it. This is a specific aspect of the creator. So Olodumare, which is what we call the creator in Orisha tradition, is neither male nor female. Gender is a human and societal construct. It does not exist in spirit. Let me say that again. Gender is a human and societal construct and does not actually exist in spirit. Energy is always masculine and feminine and are not based on gender. The energy of being masculine has nothing to do with wearing sneakers, suits, or anything like that's not what masculine energy is. And so for my brothers walking around, I'm a masculine man, I want you to walk around like you're a god and you have both. Masculine energy is simply the physical expression. It is what we do in a physical sense. So when we get an idea, an impulse, an inspiration from our feminine, and it says, hey, we want to do this, and this is what you should do to make it happen. And then we take the action, that is us moving from our feminine to our masculine energy. When we talk about creation and from an Abrahamic sense, and people say that, everything started with a word. It had a thought in the word, in the mind. It started in the feminine. And then once it started to appear intangible, there is action taking forward, masculine. So when when we say things like mother, father, baba, yay, what we're doing is that's simply how we are relating to the energy of that spirit, that angel, that deity, that orisha, to the creator. That's simply how we are relating to that energy. That's simply how we're relating to it. So if we're looking to be nurtured, we're looking to be cared for. When you are, if you want to use the word prayer, if you're sitting down and you're praying and you're like, man, I just need some help. I don't know how to do this myself. The first energy that will likely come forward is not God as the father, but God as the mother to nurture you, to comfort you in that moment, to let you be held in sacred and safe space as you are feeling what you need to feel, because it is imperative that we allow our feelings to manifest and let them express. And before anyone talks about low vibrational emotions, understand that every emotion has a divine origin. And it is the moment when we start to besmirch and belittle the emotions because we have determined that I don't like that feeling. The feeling still has a message. You don't have to live in the feeling. You don't have to manifest the feeling in an unhealthy manner. But whether it is anger, frustration, those feelings have a message. And chances are they only got to that level because you ignored the original feeling, which was probably sadness. So we have to let ourselves be nurtured by our divine mother, by Goddess. That is who nurtures us. That is who comforts us. That is who pats us on the back and says everything is going to be okay. When we are ready to take action in our creation and creating our reality, and we feel the impulse to act, when we feel the impulse to act and to do, then that is our divine father coming forward. I did a live recently that said you cannot create if you don't have both of these energies in place. They must be in place. And the analogy I use is when you have to plug something in. The plug is the masculine energy. Even when you look at some electronics book, it refers to it as the male principle. It is the masculine energy. That's why it has the thing, the thing. Then we have the outlet. It has to go where? Into the dark. You ever looked inside an outlet? There's not light in there. It's dark. They have to go into the dark. You know what's in that dark? Power. What's in the dark is power. The outlet is where the power is. The power is not the plug. My old flappy turkey arm. It's not like the plug is not the power. The outlet is the power. The outlet is thank you. The outlet is the power. But guess what? Can that outlet do anything without a plug in it? Can the outlet do anything with the plug in it? And can the plug do anything if it don't insert itself into the outlet? Please, Ashe, if you understand. The two have to come together. They have to come together. They have to come together. And this has nothing to do with heteronormative ideologies, because masculine and feminine are simply energy. They are simply energy. And what the source and the creator is simply a reflection of that energy in perfect balance. The creator is masculine and feminine in perfect balance. They, because that would mean the creator is non-binary, folks ain't gonna like that, can harness whatever they need to with ease, ebbing and flowing, like, oh, this seems cool, created. That needed, created. This is needed, created. That's needed, created. The reason we struggle sometimes to manifest what we desire is us trying to get into that nice place of moving within ourself between our feminine and masculine energy, knowing when we are simply invoking, calling, and then being in a place of receptivity. Feminine energy is receptive. Feminine energy takes in. Feminine energy attracts. Think about a black hole. A black hole is pulling stuff into it. Feminine energy attracts. This is why when you look at the things going on right now, and they talk about how Black women are getting these higher paying jobs and becoming more successful, there is still a humongous wage gap between men and women, but Black women are trying to make that come up. It's supposed to be that way, because whether you are a woman who has a dominant amount of feminine energy, you still hold the vessel of feminine energy in your body. You yourself do not have to be the more feminine, acting, energetically aligned person, but you still have a like this here is just potent feminine energy. It don't matter how you dress, it don't matter how you identify. If you were born with one of these, whether you choose to use it to birth kids or not, that thing is just nothing. But Ashe, have a good day. Nothing but feminine energy, just sitting there, just nothing but. So we have an easier way of tapping into it because we have an organ that's purpose is to hold that energy. Its purpose is to hold limitless possibility. It is right there with our sacral chakra, creativity, sensuality, abundance. Like a lot of people don't realize that the root makes us believe we can have abundance, and the sacral is where we get it from. The root is saying, hey, I'm safe. I'm going to have all these things. And it's your ability to feel safe and secure and knowing that you're going to be provided for that gives the energy up into your sacral and says, boom, let's attract that. Boom, let's create that. Boom, let's have that. When we look at our brothers, it's not that they don't have feminine energy, but some of them have to work harder to draw it into themselves because they simply don't have the vessel. It's not that they don't have feminine energy. They got a sacral, so they got feminine energy. It's there. They got a third eye. It's there. They got a crown. It's there. It's just simply like we got to work a little harder. We just got to work a little harder to get to it. But when they listen to the notion that feminine energy means, oh, I gotta wear skirts. No, y'all don't know how hard it was for me to not wear basketball shorts and do this morning. It has nothing, no, has nothing to do with how you dress. You look at attire, we have gone through so many incarnations of men wearing pants and not wearing pants. At this point, I don't know why they care. I don't know why anybody cares. I don't know why anybody cares. Act like we were all in love with Prince in heels. Serving all energy. Serving all energy. And we would not care. Like, what do you need, Prince? You want a sandwich? Want something to eat? What you need me to do? I will do it for you. So understanding that it's also neither one is stronger than the other. They are stronger together. Neither one is stronger than the other. They are at their maximum potential, in balance, ebbing and flowing together. But they are individually strong in their own way. The notion that the concept of protection is simply a masculine emanation is false, because feminine energy will protect your emotions. Feminine energy will protect your mental. Feminine energy will protect your spiritual. And no one is telling anyone to be afraid of the daddy bear. They tell them, watch out for mama bear. That's what they tell them. They tell them to watch for mama bear. Because feminine energy will protect you. The action, and you have to have a feeling about protection. Protecting someone or something starts with an emotion. It starts with a feeling. It starts with an impulse to take an action. Feminine energy is the origin of protection. All things originate in feminine energy. Because if you don't have an idea about it, you ain't gonna do nothing because you ain't had no idea about it. You have no idea about it. So when we're invoking and calling on our creator, understand our creator is both. Our creator is both. There is I was thinking about a story about Oshun. And I've heard this in a couple of different ways. So I'll tell it in this way. So Oshun came to Earth with all of the quote unquote male Orishas. And there's also one where Oshun was also in Earth with the 16 primary Odus. And they weren't paying her any attention. She's there and she's like, yo, what do you need from me? What do you need me to do? Yada, yada, yada. What can I do? And they're like, when not paying her any attention. I've heard someone say, tell the story where, well, she was supposed to be cooking and cleaning and blah, 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 but they wouldn't let her do anything else and she got mad. And I feel a way about that particular telling of it. But either way, they were not giving her any respect. They were not giving Oshun any respect. And so Oshun was like, this is what you're not going to do. This is what you're not going to do. So she left. Boop. Went back to Orun. Went back to heaven. Like, I'm out. I'm out. I'm not going to stay here and deal with this. So she leaves. And so when she leaves, she takes with her Ashe. So what does Oshun represent? Oshun represents prosperity and abundance and sweetness in our life. Love. The sweet waters, the water that we're actually able to drink. So the rivers and all this stuff is drying up and, vegetation is dying. And so whether it's the Odu or the Orishas, they're like, what the heck is happening? And so they go back up, to receive divination, like, yo, something's going on Earth and we don't know what's happening. So don't be like, okay, well, let's do divination. And he's like, yo, where's Oshun? And they're like, I don't know, cooking or something, I don't know. And he's like, what did y'all do? And so Oshun, like they're like, well, why do we even need her? And he's like, y'all crazy. If y'all don't go and apologize right now to her, why you think she's the one that carries that Ashe? She is the one that carries it. Y'all not gonna go apologize now, right now, right now. And so when they apologize, and Oshun and the one with the Odus, Oshun is like, look, you're going to not only respect me, but I'm going to be included in all of these conversations. You're going to include me because that's what you're not going to leave me behind. And in one particular story, it says that Oshun was like, y'all going to give me a son. And that is how Ishu Odada is born. And Ishu Otuda is the one, Otuda is the Odu that birthed all the remaining 232. I hope I could do math. But the other 200, I think it's 32. What's 32 plus 16 is? No, it's like I can't do math. I can do numerology. I can't do math. But the other 200 are birthed from Otuda. They're birthed from that one. But they came about because Oshun was like, you're going to include me. And then when she birthed Ishu, and it's Ishu and it's Otuda, that is how the other Odu came to be. And so I listened to some people tell that story, and they say that Oshun is the precursor for feminism. And I'm like, I don't think it's just that simple. Like, she is the one that says, like, you're not going to, everyone has value, first and foremost. Oshun is really big on self-love. So everyone has value, and especially the feminine energy. And when you disrespect that energy, you are creating an imbalance. When you disrespect the energy, you're creating imbalance because you can't get your impulses. You can't get your ideas. The fact that you started that business, the idea from the business came from somewhere. There was a divine impulse and nudge before you took action to go get your LLC. That divine nudge came from your feminine principle. So making sure that we honor and give thanks and reverence to these energies is important. I mean, y'all see what's going on in the water? It's important. It's important that we honor these energies. So, one thing I wanted to say before I close out is about the Odu that y'all got. So, when I did the divination, I got Ogunda Ofun as the Odu for today and tomorrow. And so when I look at Ogunda, so we have Ogun. Ashe, thank you, Darcel. When we look at Ogun, and Ogun is the Orisha that removes obstacles. Now, understanding an obstacle is not always something physical. Ogun removes obstacles to progress, period. So this could be progress from in ourselves and our spiritual growth. This could be progress in our relationship. This could be progress in our business. But Ogun removes obstacles. So Ogunda is the principle of removal of obstacles. Then we have Ofun, which is the manifestation of miracles. It is the obstacle being removed will allow the manifestation to come forward. So what obstacles are we needing to remove in our life right now so that the things that we want, need, and desire can manifest fully? Do we need to change the way we talk to ourselves? Do we need to change the way that we connect with other people? Do we need to remove limiting beliefs from our mindset? And when I thought about this, especially considering that I wanted to talk about Odu, and I wanted to talk about the Most High not being simply the Father, but also the Divine Mother, and being that nurturing and mother energy before becoming that action-oriented father energy. When I think about that, if you have a block against being in one energy or the other, it will stop you from manifesting. You can't manifest if you don't allow yourself to flow between both energies. You must be able to honor your feminine and your masculine. I don't have a soft girl era. I don't have one. I don't have one. I have ease. I got that. I don't have a soft girl era. I got an easy era. I'm an era of ease. I'm working smarter, not harder. I'm attracting and not having to do so much to get what I desire. I'm attracting and not having to do so much to get what I desire. It is your manifestation. Your Ori may be saying, I just want you to get random checks in the mail. And because you have a limiting belief that tells you that the only possible way you could acquire financial abundance is by doing something, you have put an obstacle in the way of your prosperity coming to you in every possible way. It's not that you don't have to do anything to acquire money. It doesn't mean it has to be the only way. And it's the only that is the obstacle. There's only one way to get this done. There is only one way. God ain't got but one phone number, and it's an Obama phone. So if you're not standing on the top of this hill with one foot in the air, holding it just so, God ain't going to hear your call, because there's only one way to get to the creator of all existence. Obstacles. If you're not honoring your ancestor, and your ancestors are the ones that are trying to intercede, they're the ones that like, hey, I know that this connection needs to be made, but I can't make it because you ain't asked for my help. And you won't ask for their help because you got a block against honoring your ancestors, even though you will celebrate, President's Day is a thing, and you walk around with dead ancestors in your pocket, but you won't honor your Black ones because somebody told you that your grandma and them is now evil and demonic now that they've transitioned. They're not still the loving, caring, and benevolent energy you knew in life. They've now, because you use the word ancestor, which in the literal translation just means that someone transitioned before you, that someone passed away before you did. Oh, you can't honor them. And then you make honoring too convoluted. Yes, there are things that are attached to certain traditions, but at the end of the day, call them their names. Honor them with your words. Honor them with your actions. Recognize their relevance in your life. I mean, from a reality perspective, like just being 100% real, Yeshua is an ancestor. And y'all won't even call him by his right name. Just saying. You won't even address him correctly. You just like invoke him with somebody else's name. Oh, okay. All right. That's illogical. Illogical. And there is a certain realm of logic that can be applied to your spiritual practice. So when we look at Ogunda Ofun, we need to look at what obstacles or perceived obstacles are in our way. Is it us? Is it our own character that's in the way? Obatala comes up in this Odu. Obatala comes up in this Odu, and Obatala is the molder of our heads. It is said sometime that when we go and choose our head, there may be some heads that might not be quote unquote good heads. They might have a little couple of like some things that need to be worked out. They need to be, rubbed and molded to be a good head. They need to be rubbed and molded to be good heads. And what makes it a good head? Our Iwapele, our good character. In this particular Odu, there's a story and there's like lies, treachery, and someone else. And Orumila is tasked with taking them and helping them to develop Iwapele. He's taking them and helping them to develop Iwapele. So when we look at that and it's like, okay, what can I do? Am I walking in my light? Am I walking in my purpose? Am I honoring my good character? Am I honoring the truth of myself? Or am I continuing to live with the lies that I tell myself? And thus that is stunting me. That's stunting me and is not allowing me to manifest all that is meant to. All that is meant to come before me. So your inspired action today, as I close out, and then I'll let some folks who have questions ask their questions. Sit and decide what number one do you want. It's the first of the month. It's the first of the month. And we're in a waxing moon. It's the first of the month and we're in a waxing moon. What do you want? What do you want? What are you trying to manifest? What are you trying to invoke? What are you trying to call into your life? Because it's already in your spiritual bank account. So what are you trying to do? What are you trying to withdraw from your spiritual bank account into your physical experience? And write it in detail. Write it in great detail. And as you are writing, when you get ready to write something down, it's like, oh, I can't possibly. There's your obstacle. There's your obstacle. The moment you feel that feeling like, well, that might be too much, there's your obstacle. There's your obstacle. Make it, put a star there. That's your obstacle. What do you need to do to tear it down? What do you need to tear down? What limiting belief do you need to tear down? And if it's something practical, what steps do you need to take to tear the obstacle down? If it makes you feel some kind of way, to say to yourself that I would love to have a white Camaro with black but not too dark because I want to tinted windows and chrome rims and leathers, well, maybe cloth interior. I don't want it hot in the summer. So cloth interior and a most amazing sound system and maybe some 12s. I said that pretty easy, actually. I don't feel no way about it. But if you were to say something like that, whatever your dream car is, your dream house, and you say it and it's like, ooh, well, maybe I could just, the moment you feel that, well, maybe I could just realize in that moment, there's your obstacle. There is an obstacle in the way of your manifestation, you. There's an obstacle in the way of your manifestation, you. Ask with respect, Ogun, to help you remove it. What I love about Ogun is I don't ever feel like Ogun is swinging the machete for me, but with me. The Orisha are part of you. So being able to stand with Ogun, holding the machete in my life and swing it and remove the things that I feel like are blocking me from my blessings. And we're realizing sometimes that block is me. That block sometimes is me. It is a great time to get ready to do some shadow work so that you can beam and shine bright like the sun. Shadow work is meant to illuminate what isn't seen, illuminate those parts of you that are holding you back from you realizing your blessing and realizing your greatness. Remove them. And if you need someone to help you, this is where coaches and life coaches and things and mentors and all these things, because they're your accountability partners. They are the physical representation of Ogun in your life, helping you to move the obstacles out of your way, but you have to be willing to do the work so that they are moved. You have to be willing to do the work so that the obstacles are therefore removed. So that is your lesson for today. Thank you for the folks that just joined. If you did not catch this from the beginning, by all means, check it out on the tube of you. It takes it a while to upload, so I probably say in the next hour or so. But at this moment, I'm done teaching, and I'm opening the floor to questions. What questions do you have? I'll stay on for a few more minutes, answer any questions that you may have about Orisha, Ifa, whatever I taught earlier. Now's the time for questions. And I'm going to try to check without making a mess. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right, so I saw one question, and I don't know if I can't tell if they're still in here, but I am going to go ahead and answer it. So someone asked, their first part of their question is, when do I work with Orisha? And Ashe, thank you, Robert. Someone asked, when do I work with Orisha? And two, can you only work with one, or how that works? So for those who were just coming in, hi, I'm Ianifa Daniafa Omishago. Ianifa is my title, not my name. Ianifa is the mother or the priestess in the Orisha tradition. So to answer the question, do I work with Orisha? That would be a yes. Who, in terms of how you can work with Orisha. So I'm going to talk about this from the perspective of a non-initiate. And so when I first came to Orisha, this was early in my journey. And the way they manifested for me is they came through like the 7 African powers. So the way they first showed up for me was in a dream. And I'm clairvoyant. Babalawo, if it's a Isheshe or some other, I think there's something else in Santeria, maybe Padrino. So Baba means father. So that's and Babalawo means father of mysteries. Awo is mystery. So before I initiated, first off, from one, for those that don't know, I did not plan to initiate, nor did I want to have any designs on being a priest. That was not in my vision for myself. The irony is that if you actually ask me what my birth tarot card is, it's the High Priestess. Yeah. So I didn't have any designs on initiating, but I was intrigued by Orisha. So the first thing that I did was, learn and as much as I could find about who the Orishas are. And so Orisha is the way that I will explain it is you have the creator, and everything is an emanation of the creator, and the conscious energy of the creator that exists in nature, that is Orisha. And because we are physical representation of nature, their energy is also within us. You do not receive Orisha in initiation. You unlock the access to the Orisha in a way that makes the energy and the Ashe flow through you in a more pronounced way. But when you look at the Orisha in terms of energy and you think about the air in your lungs, if y'all missed that, I include that in my Oriki that I wrote for Oya. That breath in your lungs, the wind, the air, that is Oya. That's Oya. So like you didn't initiate to breathe. You didn't have to go through no ceremony to breathe and have air. You already have it. When you get ready to do something and you are exceptionally confident, like I know what I'm going to do, and you walk in the room like you own it because you know that you do, that is Shango. That is Shango showing up for you. If you feel like you need some peace, so I actually divined on this because someone else asked me the same question. So hold on, Darcy. I'm gonna ask that one. I'm gonna answer that one. I think it's both. It's yeah. I'm gonna ask that one. So you already have the Orisha, and thus being able to work with your natural energy. Yes, you don't need to be initiated to work with your natural energy. If you want to call forward a specific energy and you want to call it in the realm of that Orisha. So if you're trying to, okay, I'm gonna do this in a way like in a way where you're trying to do work. So let's say you're trying to get money, and so you want to open your roads, but you also need to remove obstacles. So depending on how you perceive that, the road opener is Eshu. Eshu is the road opener from an Orisha perspective. And then the removal of obstacles would be Ogu. Those two are almost always together. They roll together, they hang together. So being able to call them in that fashion and honor them in that way, you can do that within reason. One thing I would say is you need to start with your Ori. A lot of people want to bypass their Ori. They want to bypass their ancestors. And for me, I was doing prayer and invocation over my Ori and my ancestors for a while. I didn't even realize how important what I was doing as I was doing it. I just knew it made more sense to start there. I just made more sense. So when you call your Ori and your ancestors, if there is an Orisha that is meant to support you, they will manifest even if you're not sure that that's what happened. You're driving in a new area and you lost as heck. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just need a sign or something. And you get your direction. You know who knows always the way to go on the tracker? That's Ochosi. So I would say start with your Ori. Like always want to like, how do I work with the Ori? Like you always want to go to a deity and you don't want to start with yourself. When you are a deity in a human body, the primary one, you're a primary deity in a human body. Start with you. That's where your power is. My Ialode would say, you are the complicated ritual. You are the spiritual tool. Start with you. So, not being able to work with their Ifa on their cycle. So, I'm going to say this. It's yeah. And I'll tell you why. So, for most people in a spiritual perspective know that there is power in blood in a very general sense. But menstrual blood is exceptionally powerful. This is talked about in Irosun Meiji. Irosun literally is menstrual blood. It's about fulfillment of ancestral potential, but it is menstrual blood. And so when we are on our menstrual cycle, we are exceptionally open. So you just think about, in a general sense, women are walking portals anyway, but when our menstrual cycle, that blood has to come out. So that opening is open. And then blood, which is life, is flowing and like open. We're just wide the freak open when we're on our cycle. So what I've heard someone say is that it's about how powerful we are in ritual, and depending on the person, that energy can be chaotic. Feminine energy is literally the inner chaos because it's a limitless possibility. It's not structured or organized. So it's about how chaotic that energy is when we are on our menstrual cycle. But I divined on this once because what I was asked was about my male Orisha, the Ilekes, whether I could wear them. So during my cycle, prior to ever getting the question. The way I choose my enrollees is they call. So I'll go and touch them, and whichever one says it wants to be worn, that's what I wear. So I almost always have this one on. This is not an enrollé. I had to make this as Ebo, so I wear it all the time. But in terms of my other enrollees, I just, whoever wants to be worn, wants to be worn. So that's what I wear. But I started noticing that every once in a while Shango wasn't going to be worn, or Obatala. And I'm like, and I would feel a way about it initially, like, oh my God, why don't you want me to wear you today? But I would just, especially one day, not so much, but I noticed it was like happening for days. And I'm like, why is this? I wasn't making the correlation until someone asked me the question about my menstrual cycle. Can you wear your male Orisha enrollees on your menstrual cycle? And I'm like, that sounds sexist as heck. So I divined it. And no, I can't wear them, but I can wear Ifa. I can always wear Ifa. I can always work with my Ikin. I can always cast with my Opwele. I can do Mirror de Lagoon. I can do all the things with Ifa while on my cycle. I can do all the things with Ifa while on my cycle. Invoking Ayla, she will cause it to come early if I do the long one multiple days in a row. If it's real close to time for my cycle and I invoke Ayla, invoking Ayla will actually make my cycle come on early. The first time I ever started doing it on a regular basis, when she just told me you need to say this every day, the first time it happened, I'm like, my cycle's on like 4 days early. So there's absolutely a connection with our spiritual connection in our menstrual cycle, but the idea that we can't be a part of ceremony and things like that has to more to do with the fact that our energy is doing the things like yeah, we're doing the things. But I can use my Iking during my cycle. There's no problem with me doing that. I can cast my Opwele, while I'm on my cycle. I just can't wear my enrollees. I just can't wear my enrollees. So that was a good question. It was a very good question. It was a good question. What other questions y'all have? I'm gonna stay like 5-10 more minutes because I did not. Yeah. And for those like if just joining and you're like, well, how are you doing that when you're like a woman? I didn't crown under Lukumi, Santeria, and other ones. I crowned under Isheshe. So we still do priestess in the traditional sense. But I know that other traditions do not allow their women to be priests, and that's probably why I was never drawn to any of them. And that's actually the real reason I never thought I would initiate. I didn't have a desire to be a priest of Orisha in that way. But I'm the kind of person that if you tell me I can't do something simply because I'm a woman, it will irritate me. And I could never initiate in a tradition that would have that stipulation. I just could never do it. So I just never thought I would initiate because I didn't realize that was only in the diasporic traditions that were syncretized with Abrahamic faith. So I couldn't do it. I had to. And so when I was calling an elder, my Ialode, so Ialode is elder mother. So it's not simply Ianifa mother. She is elder mother. So she is married to a woman. Oh yes, I do. If it is aligned to their Ori and their destiny, I absolutely do believe that Orisha will communicate with you because I don't feel like initiation gives you Orisha. Initiation, okay, this is the analogy I use. I don't know who's watched anime and is referring to Naruto, but I'll think of it like the gate in a yard. I won't do the anime reference today. We'll just think about you are a yard and you have a gate, or you have multiple gates in your yard, like all these ways that you can come in and out the yard. And each gate is partially open. Well, maybe I will do the Naruto reference, but each gate is partially open. So there's a little opening. So little things can get in and out the gate. little things, but it's not open all the way. Little things can still scurry in and out. This is how the ashe of the Orisha is in a natural, non-initiated sense. Little things, little bits of the ashe coming in and out. That's why we can breathe. That's why we have, when we're feeling level-headed, all of these things will manifest anyway. They're all emanations of Orisha. When we need potent medicine, we're always getting the medicine, but we might only be getting a little bit. But sometimes we need that gate kicked the heck open. And so it will manifest as initiation is opening the gate all the way. That's how I see initiation. Initiation doesn't give me the Orisha. The Orisha is always hanging out at the gate, blowing through a little bit what I need. But sometimes when you get called for initiation, especially to when it's beyond simply you just need hand up Ifa, you need this Orisha or that Orisha, this part of your destiny, you need to activate that Orisha's ashe in such a pronounced sense. The only way to do it is to initiate and receive Orisha or essentially open the gate. They're opening, causing a flood of that Orisha's energy to come through. That is why, for me, like people who want to initiate under me, you have to do self-love work first. Why? Because my ELO, they made a very valid point. You should not be working out your issues at the mat. You should not be working out your issues at the mat. And for me, Orisha communicated with me in a way that I didn't realize until later. So when the Orisha first manifested for me, so for me, I guess it's probably because I'm an Aquarius, the way my journey went, but my journey happened in a very logical sense. Astrology, numerology came first. So I was learning myself. And then I started seeing posts about Orisha. And I was like, oh, and when I started digging, I had a dream. And when I say they full body manifested for me in the dream, I'm really a prominent dreamer. And I could see as clearly an ice sculpture with Yemoja or Shun sitting there. Like I could see them clearly. So I would ask permission. So Yemoja, one day I felt really called to give Yemoja an offering. And what I got was I needed to give her a watermelon at the river because Yemoja is actually the owner of waters, not specifically the ocean, but water overall. So I'm like, okay, so I'm driving. And this is where having a spiritual language and understanding how your spiritual team speaks and them understanding what will get your attention is important. So I'm driving. A lot of people don't know that even though Yemoja's waters, there's a lot of things associated with water, including horses. So horses are also an animal that is relevant to Yemoja. So I'm driving. I'm heading to the river and I look and a car changes lanes in front of me. It's a blue, like ocean blue Mustang. And I'm like, but it wasn't just an ocean blue Mustang. It was an ocean blue Mustang and their tag number actually had my birthday in it. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, okay. And then they were going the same way. I followed them for almost the whole way there. So I get to the spot at the river and I'm like, okay, where am I going to park at? So it's a park area that's near the river. So I go park there. Again, I have not crown initiated nothing. So I step outside. I'm like, how am I going to do this? Because it's not like I'm at where I can like walk. I'm like really like, okay, Yemoja, just help me, tell me what I'm supposed to do. So I step out and I look, and the first thing I see is this woman dressed in blue, pregnant, taking her maternity photos. And I'm like, oh my God. Like if you could make Yemoja appear in front of you, blue flowing dress, big, just, oh. And I'm like, oh. And I instinctively knew exactly what I was supposed to do. So I stood there while they took their pictures. And I walked over and I'm like, hi, you don't know me. And I just wanted to know, do you eat watermelon? And she's like, yes, I love it. And she's like, I love it, blah, blah, blah. I have something. And I go to the car and I give her the watermelon. And when I say it was the most full feeling, she felt, I'm like, oh my, she's like, oh my God, I wanted a melon. She wanted one. She wanted a watermelon. And I was not initiated. And I would always come humbly to Orisha. I was very humble. I had a 7 African powers altar, and I was very humble in how I came to Orisha. Like, I know I'm not initiated, so I'm only going off of the way I feel and how I'm doing this, and just doing it what feels natural to me. The Orishas that first showed up for me, Yemoja showed up, and Yemoja makes sense. Yemoja is associated with the sign of Cancer, and I'm a Cancer rising. But it wasn't Shango, because I think I shied away from Shango. Because when you first hear about Shango, you like Shango's a flashy dresser and blah blah blah, and he's a king. I didn't take that. I couldn't see myself as that. I was still not there. I couldn't see myself as king and I couldn't see so I couldn't see Shango, but I could see Ogun. I could see Ogun, and the way Ogun, I'm very technically savvy. I'm a humongous nerd, and things like the way they would talk about Ogun, like being socially awkward sometimes. The first time I ever got an Ifa divination before my ELO day, they were like, Ogun is really close to you. I learned later doing divination with my ancestors, Ogun is with my mother's side of the family. So Ogun has always been exceptionally close to me. So I would feel like Ogun manifested in the way that I work with technology and my ability to also remove obstacles for other people. I did a lot of mentoring work at the corporate job that I worked at, and I was really talented in my ability to make people get out their own way. And so for me, that was Ogun already like manifesting with me. The Iyami have always been present. I know that now, like the Iyami have always been present for me. Like when I tell you, especially once I decided I was having an awakening, not the wing. You gotta tell me why the wings on the float. Like you have to help, like tell me the way that the Iyami have always manifested in my life. And I've always embodied that mother energy. Like you ask people that work with me at Pizza Hut, they call me mama. Ashe, yes. Ogun, like a lot of people like don't like give Ogun that kind of credit. Like Ogun is just Ogun is severely intelligent. Anything that has to do with progress, progressing, moving forward, that is Ogun. That is always Ogun. You can't move forward if all this brushes in the way. And everybody will come and like, I will try with this, and or Shango try with the, like that's not who removed the machete from Ogun. And Ogun not necessarily being the one that has to swing it when it comes to us, but standing with us, helping us control the swing, helping us cut the thing down out of our way, whether that's physically or figuratively. Ogun for me helps me swing the machete. So eventually I will crown Ogun. It has to happen. So eventually I am crowning Ogun. But that ability to do that is always present. It's always there. So I always tell people, pay attention to your intuition and how it leads you. My god sibling, so I have a god sibling that crowned with me. We both crowned Shango, actually, and they are trans and they are white. And I love the fact that they were like, when it came up in divination for them, they were like very like, are you sure? Like, are you sure you're sure? But if you meet them or you go, I did a podcast episode with all of us, and they talk about their relationship with Ifa and the way that Oya comes through in Oshun, so in Shango, and I want people to realize the Orisha are not one note. So the way they manifest in one person may look completely different than how they manifest with you if you ever go through initiation. When you go through initiation, it's way more pronounced. Like, yeah, I can be comfortable, blah, blah. It's a different kind of feeling when you initiate and receive the Orisha. Exactly. Do you think the traditional? Oh man. Okay. So I feel like people need to talk about shock and awe with Shango more. Shango is, and the fact that Shango has a double-sided axe because there's more than one way to get the job done. So if I go to Shango looking for how to make something happen, I ask him which is the way of my light. Because at the end of the day, there is not one way to get it done. And there's not a wrong way. We can't pull a fast one on the Most High. There's a way that has heavier energy and there's one has lighter energy. And I asked Shango, which way is my light? So I can go that way. So I can move in that regard. And Shango being a master diviner, that is where Shango showed up for me initially, because that was the thing that stuck out to me, because divination comes to me natural. Like, I didn't take a class to learn to read tarot. It just came natural. So the first time I decided I was going to do it for the public and I was going to do it at a shop, I asked my Ori what I was wearing. And it was evident I needed to wear a white shirt and a red skirt. And I'm like, it's Shango. Because there are stories where Shango got divination first and Orunmila got dance. And they were just like, Shango's like, but I want to go to the party. I want to go to the party and turn up. And being able to like them teach each other their gift. So yes, Shango is Orisha of dance and everything, but Orisha is a master at diviner. Shango is also a master at magic. Orisha is like, he is a wizard. And people don't talk about that. They talk about, the machismo and things like that, but they don't talk about his really core spiritual self. Shango was associated with the planet Uranus. Uranus is a shock and awe, lightning. Like a lightning flash, and that's a change in your life. That's a change that happens. We talk about Oya with change, but radical, unexpected, oh my God, what just happened? Change, like in Okandan, that is an Odu associated with Shango. Those new opportunities come, surprise, that's how they come. And I feel like more people should talk about that with Shango. Like, talk about the reluctant leader. That's why, I'm like, oh, I am Shango. When I say Shango's story, when they talk about him not wanting to be a leader and having to come to it, and also being able to wield his power in such a way where it's not overbearing. There's a humbleness to, he knows who he is. Like, it's not that he's humble in a way where he's playing small. There's a balance to it. Like, I'm not gonna be overbearing with it and feel like I'm a know-it-all. But please know, I know. Please know I'm powerful. And there's that nice fine balance that Shango has. I'll be like, when I get off, I'll be free for a while. We are more than welcome to chat. Oshun, a lot of people, let me tell you how I cried. If y'all didn't hear what I wrote about Oshun, one of the lines in there is like, why do you call me Oriyeye? And Oshun has always called to me and I have shied away from her. This is a good visual. Anybody who's seen like School Days or like stereotypes about AKAs and deltas and what they look like. And I didn't see myself as Oshun. Because a lot of times when people talk about Oshun and even the imagery of Oshun, she's got these flowing hair and she's light skinned and she's skinny. I couldn't see me in Oshun. When you look at the visuals of her, I could not see me in Oshun. I couldn't see me. I couldn't see that beauty. And that's because there was still a colonized construct on what she was supposed to look like. If Oshun hails from Nigeria, Oshun should look like me. Respectfully, Oshun should look like me. At least my complexion or darker, with a gap in her teeth, she should look like me. But I couldn't connect with her. It's like she's rich and she's lavish. And again, I couldn't connect with those things. Oshun is like severely intelligent. Severely intelligent. And Oshun is what you not gonna do. Oshun is like, this is what you're not gonna do. You will not disrespect me. I'm gonna come as I am, and you're gonna take this. And being safe in my sexuality, being safe in that space, knowing that however I choose to embody that energy is sacred. However I choose, the choice is mine. How I decide to embody that energy, it is sacred. And that my womanly form is sacred. And there's at no point in any day I can't do something simply because I was born as a woman. Oshun is not simply abundance in the financial sense. She is overall Ide in good fortune and sweetness in your life. She is overall. In the grander scheme of things, you want to talk about truly financial money, like come from your business, that's Ajay, not Oshun. It's Ajay. Oshun is overall, but if you like want to like minutia it down, that's Ajay. If you want long-standing wealth, like wealth that's gonna last for lineages, that's Olokun. That is Olokun. And being able to honor those in that way. One thing, like I like write a lot of notes and I channel Odu. So I don't always, I have a book with the Odu and things in it, but I don't go to that first. If I cast an Odu, whether it's for myself or somebody else, I am channeling, I am listening to the Odu speak. Because sometimes the stories, like to your point, Darcel, like the stories need to be told in a way where someone today could resonate with them. So there's an essay in the Odu where there's two people, a man and a woman. The dude is like, yo, I want a wife and some kids. The lady's like, I want a husband and some kids. So they both receive the same Odu. They don't know each other. They both receive the same Odu. And they're both prescribed the exact same Ebo. So they're going to go get all the things that they need to present their Ebo. If they got the same things in the list, at some point, their paths are probably going to cross because they got to get the same things. And sure enough, there's this one thing on the list that is only at this one location. And so they both head to this location. And it's just like, I got it first. No, but I need it. But I need it. I need it. So they're like fussing over this item. Eshu shows up. Yo, what's good? What's going on? And she's like, I need this. I need a husband. I have to give this. I need it. And he's like, but I need a wife. I need this. And Eshu's like, hi, husband meet wife. Wife meet husband. Come on, let's go get y'all married. For me, that Odu says sometimes it is not about the items. It is your journey to acquiring the items that leads to your Ide. See, if they had not either one of them had not chosen to purchase whatever they needed to give as the offering, they would not have met each other at that store. It is the fact that they went ahead and made the decision to give the offering that started the domino effect of them running into each other so that they could meet. It is trusting their intuition because they easily could have tried to go at a different time. But that means their Ori was also involved in saying, hey, no, get up and do it now. Do you see how divinely perfect would have had to be in order for them both to be at the same spot, at the same time, receiving the same thing, getting the same thing, and thus allowing them to go ahead and receive the blessings that they were meant to have. But if they hadn't done that, they wouldn't have received them. And it's like, a lot of Odu say not giving Ebo benefits no one. Because sometimes your giving of that Ebo has everything less to do with you and something to do with somebody else. And it's not that you are giving your power away. Your Ebo is simply a physical reflection of the energetic exchange that you are making between yourself and said energy, whether that's Orisha, if you work with someone else, let's say you're giving an offering to Offset, because offset is doing something in your life. That energetic exchange, offset is still within you and around you. This is just simply telling your mind, your physical mind, something's going to happen. So your physical mind needs something to tell it something's going to happen. When we give an offering, there is an expectation that we now have in our head that something is going to happen, or an acknowledgement that something has already happened. But notice that, like, that Odu was easy to understand. Like, it wasn't convoluted. You didn't have to figure anything out. It's just like, boom, boom. This is what you go on this journey, because going on this journey, you might meet someone. Go on this journey. This is your highest good, and this is how it might play out. Sometimes they're really like direct. Sometimes it's like, I had one and they're like in there like, hey, the person got money by going to the marketplace and selling beads. And I'm like, oh, well, that's really oddly specific. Okay, sure. But I feel like I write notes about the Odu and how I experience them, because I can tell somebody, oh, I had this Odu on this day. So I had one day, and it was a confirmation. It wasn't something coming to pass. It was something that had already happened. But within the Odu, it mentions it's a man who's really poor, and he's trying to, get some blessings. And there's a guy that he has to go buy his Epo. And there's a guy that's there, and he can't afford to buy it. So his friend buys the stuff for him that he needs for his Epo. And so the Odu talks about you receiving success with the support of a friend. You getting what you need with the help of a friend. Well, 2 days prior to me getting this Odu, my sons were sick, and I needed some cola nuts. Cola nuts and palm oil. And I couldn't get to the store. So I asked my boyfriend to do it. And I could not imagine asking my ex to do this. Not without 50 million questions. Like I could, oh God, so many questions. So I asked him, like, yo, I need a favor. He's like, what's up? This is what I need. Could you get it for me when you have time? And so initially he was like, no. He said yes, but he said he didn't know when he would get to it, because he, had some things to take care of. But a few minutes later, he's like already at the store. He's like, tell me again. And how many cola nuts? And I'm like, I told him. Within 20 minutes, he's at my house with cola nuts and palm oil. He didn't ask me no questions, what this for, or anything like that. He just brought it so that I could give my Epo, because I couldn't get to the store to do it. And so then I read this story, and I'm just like, oh, okay. I see what y'all did there. So me being able to have a story like that can add to the understanding of the Odu when I'm talking to a client or to somebody that I'm teaching or something like that. But I absolutely, being able to express how the Orisha express with you personally is key, because you will disconnect yourself from energies because you can't see yourself in them when they are there, because you're looking at some stereotypes and old stories that fit for the time. But now we need to see how they fit today. And so if I was to have left my limiting beliefs about who Oshun is, glamorous and things like that, I never would have been able to see her in me. Never. And now it's like she's always there. Like I initiated with a bunch of Oshuns. And though I didn't crown, every time I talk to one of them, she shows up through me. Every time I talk to one of them, Oshun shows through me. But I have not crowned Oshun. I have not crowned them. Bruh, have I been look. I'm gonna tell y'all, specifically TikTok. I'm looking over here at TikTok, looking at y'all. Y'all not gonna keep me on this live 2 hours. Like, thank you though. Thank y'all for the engagement. Any last questions? Darcel, we can definitely get together and chat. We can absolutely chat. But does anybody else have any last minute lingering questions, emotional outbursts, and the like? Dude, I did not think this was going to go 2 hours. Lord, it's a long time. I go get some Kool-Aid or something to drink. I think I deserve some pancakes. Yep, I'm about to make some pancakes. I deserve pancakes. Everybody good? All hearts and minds clear? That's what they say, isn't it? All right. Well, if everybody is okay, I just want to say thank you for popping in, whether you were here the whole time, whether you've been in and out. I just want to say thanks. This will go back to being my Zoom. So if you enjoyed this, if you received something from this, Sacred Soulful Saturdays are every 2 weeks on Saturday. Because I'm a single mommy and that's when I don't have kids. So every 2 weeks on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. They are all already on my website. Link is in the bio. They are donation based. Minimum donation is only $11. I do divination. I do stuff like this, talk about Orisha and Ifa, whatever I feel like the lesson of the day needs to be. And then I open it up like I did just now for questions for people who maybe are new. I decided to do that because in Lukumi Santeria, they have misas, and there's sometimes they let people in on their misas, but I feel like a misa is for someone specific who has a question, but it's not a space where we can learn about Orisha and Ifa and experience it in a way like this. So this is my personal ministry for Orisha and Ifa that I share with whoever feels like they feel called to experience it. So I hope that you enjoyed yourself. Thank you so much because I had a blast and I'm like 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go and go feed myself because I haven't eaten. So I'm gonna go feed myself and get on with the rest of my day. But y'all have a beautiful, beautiful Saturday and y'all take care. Bye. Oops. Where? You don't want to let it go? Can you like? There we go. 2 hour long talking about Odisha. That's it. You